business is always a pledge of allegiance, so all rise. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, Patrick, the first thing we gotta do is, you are not here, so this will not involve you, but normally when we have a meeting, we'll have public meeting minutes for the previous meeting that we had. In this case, it was in February.
Okay.
And she typed them all out, she sent us an email copy, and then we'll approve it or tell her to make changes. She gives us the chance to make changes ahead of time. So with that said,
Motion to approve meetings dated February 8th, 2022.
I'll second that motion.
Aye.
Oh, okay, you can't vote because you weren't here. Okay, so I signed these for you, Lil, I'll give them over to you. Okay, Ray, that's up to you now.
Okay, so our first thing up is we're gonna have an awards night. Our annual awards night is gonna be April 14th.
April 14th?
At 6:30. And that's gonna be in the fire bays. We're
Oh.
gonna do it again in
Well, we
conjunction
had it
with the
last
fire-
year.
Yeah, with
That
the
was
fire
good.
department,
Yeah.
so we'll have like a joint awards night.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be coming up. There's another National Drug Take Back Day coming up on April 30th from 10 to 2, and we'll staff the building out front, here during the day, so people can drop off there.
And you still have the steel box, drop
Still have
box in the
boxes.
lobby
If you
all
can't make
the
it during
time.
that time, they can drop it off there, but we collect it all during that time frame on the 30th, and then it gets turned into DEA for disposal.
Yep,
We will also have in April our hands-free enforcement patrols coming up. I can't remember the name, but you text, you drive, you pay, something like that, patrols. So we put something in the crier about that so people kind of get aware of it. We'll put some signs up, electronic signs up maybe around town. And we'll do like a bunch of patrols around that time. So don't talk to yourself and drive.
yeah. Yeah, we'll call you and say, hey, nice job.
Alright, also, we had our lead program start, this month in the 5th grade. That's like our more modern DARE program. It's a little more modernized, more back kind of away from the drug stuff, more in the bullying stuff, so this lead got the guys.
That's in 5th grade?
5th grade.
They're in
So
5th
it's on
grade?
every Monday, I think for like 5 weeks, it'll be all the 5th grades.
Is Ryan still doing that?
Yep, and Ryan.
Ryan's doing it.
Still good.
I meant to say he did really good. My son was in it last year.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so he had his first session this Monday.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
when was, so that's going on. For training, we have in March, we are gonna have our active shooter response plan review, which we have a formal plan on how to deal with, an active shooter at the school, and we're gonna review that with all the officers. We haven't done it in a while. It's not really a hands-on one, it's more of a review of how the thing would lay out, how it would happen, what we would respond to. And then we go and do a tour of the school, because a lot of the officers aren't old enough to have kids, or older and don't have kids.
Or haven't
They're
been in,
school.
or haven't even been in.
And we walk around the school and get to see all the exits and windows and that kind of stuff. So we'll be doing that in March,
You mean, must be in May, not March, March is,
this month, yeah.
Oh, this month.
Like next week, yeah,
oh, okay,
What?
right.
next week.
I left the room for a minute.
I think it's March 24th.
All right,
And then in April, we're having someone from Fish and Game come down to go over some OHRB laws. We have been having some, not a huge bunch of issues, but some problems with those side-by-sides, people not driving them still on the roads. You can't, but we're gonna talk to Fish and Game and get what the enforcement policy would be for that kind of stuff, so we would have our officers.
I think it's more of getting the word out that, just because you got a plate, because I'm an avid ATVer, and I always thought that if I had a plate, like my friend has a UTV, if he got a farmer's plate,
Right.
which he said he could do, I don't know how you can drive on the road, you don't have, you're not brake lights or,
Well, you can use it for certain purposes like agricultural
Yeah.
or construction
Yeah.
in certain distances. So you
Yeah.
can, but your friend might be correct in what he's saying, but you can't drive on the road
No.
to go to the store.
No
Yeah.
pleasure driving.
Yeah,
and I think that's where a lot of people think they can go anywhere with it.
right.
I mean, I haven't come to Dairy Queen at the drive-through in Manchester.
Right.
And I know
That's a good
Manchester
example.
doesn't wanna allow
Right.
ATVs on Elm Street
No.
and,
But that's a
all the
good
different
example,
streets.
people think they can and you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, this guy had a plate and he was driving.
So we'll learn a little bit more about that, so our officers will kind of be educated and talk a
Yep.
little bit more knowledgeably about it.
Yeah, sure.
And that's it for me for now. I have some other stuff under old business and new business, but we'll bring it up when we get there.
Okay. Any questions for the chief? Okay. Chip, you're next.
Okay, February, again, we're doing what we're paid to do. February calls for service, we had 939, and as typical, it runs everything from abandoned cars to paperwork service to suspicious motor vehicle checks. So the guys have been really proactive in their patrols, and we haven't had too many instances of thefts or burglaries or anything like that, so. Yeah, I know. So it's been really good. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with people are telecommuting, so they're home, and burglars really don't want to take the chance and knock on somebody's door, break into the house with somebody home.
Yeah.
So it's just, which is, that's one good thing to come out of COVID, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Guys did a good job with their arrests. They had 8 arrests for the month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but prosecution is pretty busy because of those arrests. A lot of them are a mixed bag, so we had a couple DWIs, well, in addition to being drunk driving, they were also under suspension as far as their licenses go. A couple were under suspension for the registration plates, that's a misdemeanor, so prosecution's really been really keeping ahead of the curve as far as prosecuting those and making sure all the paperwork's right, and court appearances are gonna go good. That's it. Eight summonses for the month, 185 warnings.
Stop?
Yeah, stops in general were 185 and tickets were 8. Not that we go out there and we want people to hammer people with summonses. We're not a revenue generating source for the state. But some people deserve a ticket and they're getting them. But other than that, that's about it.
All right, you have any questions for the lieutenant?
No. Also, we've been updating policies too, so we've been, it often happens with the policies, once you work them and, kind of figure out how they work and how they're not working, you just change them. So we've changed a couple of them that work better for what we're doing.
You talking SOPs or?
Yep, just the SOPs.
SOPs,
So we
okay.
changed them. One of them was, it's kind of on everyone's mind, is the use of force. So we just tweaked that one a little tiny bit and put that out to the troops, and then we had notification personnel when the chief or I have to be notified. We ran into some issues where it didn't say specifically in the policy to notify anybody, but there were a few that I would have liked to have known about, so I just threw it in there that this is going to be what we're doing now. And guys, typical of police officers, they're receptive to change in policies, so they're not griping about it at all. So it's working out. So far so good. March is looking to be pretty good too, so that's it for my February report.
Yeah, we have anybody out on sick leave? Chance? Is he out?
No, he's not out.
No, we had an officer injure his hand,
Oh, that's what it was.
but he's still working on a different assignment instead of patrol right now.
Okay,
But he'll be back in.
Okay,
But
that's
he'll
all right.
hopefully
Okay.
next week.
no problem. All right, no more questions? That's up to you there, Mr. Grange, how are you?
All up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck. We're counting on
I
you.
don't know if I can handle this, Sarah.
yeah,
Well, I don't really have a whole lot for you this time. It's been pretty quiet. I've actually been pretty busy this last few weeks, so, I
yeah,
haven't really heard too much of anything that's really going on. What you brought up earlier about ATVs is funny, because we have that issue in our area too, because they put up, I think they put up a gate across there too.
Sure.
Oh.
ATV riders are coming down, opening up the gate and shooting down there too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Are they closing the gate afterwards?
some are,
Yeah.
others just leave it, so.
Okay.
It's, the locals do it.
Yeah.
are you thinking of putting out a newsletter like you did back when you first
Yeah,
came
we're
on?
supposed to, I think we were planning on having a meeting coming up here sometime in the spring, but, it's, I think Melissa sent something out, that it's probably in the next month or so, we'll probably have a meeting, go over some,
Sure,
send something out, get back into the swing of sending out notifications, because, like I brought up before, we're getting all these people signed up, but
Right.
if they're not receiving anything, they're kind of going, well, what's the?
but like you said though, there is less activity as far
There
as
is, and that's.
something that the neighborhood watch would respond to.
Right.
There's less of.
I didn't see him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all for that too, and I'm encouraging them to get it together, get the leaders together, so that we can
Right.
kind of I think sometimes, every once in a while, we just gotta reinvigorate ourselves
Yeah.
sometimes.
And sometimes no news is good news, but
Yeah, you don't wanna
You wanna-
get caught off guard either.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Any questions for Steve? He's our neighborhood watch contact person. Comes every meeting. All right. Old business. Ray, you said you had something on the old business.
Yeah, I got a couple of things.
All righty.
For you. One's kind of just give it an update of our cruiser status here. We have one cruiser is in. Calvin met with the guys that do the outfitting down in, I think it's in Hudson. And they, after talking with them, we're gonna split one gas cruiser, one hybrid cruiser. I guess the hybrid cruisers for 2022 have been breaking down a lot, computer issues. And have been like a lot, like 50% of the time they have them. So we didn't wanna have both cars be like, you know, be lemons, so we split. So we have one regular car, one hybrid car. We got the regular car was already in, that's being outfitted now. And then we'll get the hybrid car in May or June, I think May. And then that will be outfitted after the first one is done. So we won't have two cars tied up, you
Yeah.
know, being outfitted at the same time. We usually get one or two cars.
Now, what are you having troubles with your cars? What's going on?
The hybrid, the computers keep malfunctioning.
Oh, on the hybrid. Now,
Yeah.
we've only got one, well,
We
two
have
now.
one, the one we had that issue taken care of, and it's been very good since then.
Yep.
But the manufacturer guy is telling us that the 2022s are not running as good as the 2020s.
I got you. So you got the regular
Right.
car.
We
outfitted.
also, so that one car is currently being outfitted. Once they get all the equipment in, they'll be able to put all that. So that car should be here relatively soon. I would imagine by the end of April, that car will be delivered and be in service. And then we'll get the other one in May or June.
Yeah.
We also reshuffled our cruiser assignments. We assigned cars to certain officers. We went through, this is because of the gas situation. We went through and looked at what officers use the car, drive more. Just naturally, some guys drive more than others, right? Just like any other person. And we put the busier officers into the hybrid car to try to conserve fuel. And if that has to be even more aggressive, we'll even if we have to kind of hot rack that car, where as soon as someone's done their shift, someone else will take that, you know, to keep the gas use down. But we'll see how it goes. I think gas is already coming down a little bit this week. It went down 20 cents, I guess.
What,
So-
fuel?
Yeah.
I just, geez, I don't want
It's
to say.
419. It was 439.
Oh, yeah. Now, with that said, how are we doing on our fuel budget? Of course, it's early in
Well,
the
we
year.
don't know.
Yeah, because it's early in the year. It's not paying $5 a gallon regular.
Well, we don't know because the town won't send us the budget. They do this
Oh.
every year. It gets approved, and then they have like a month delay while they do all the processing.
I was looking at the budget figures,
Yeah.
and it had all, you know, it wasn't right, so.
No.
Used, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
as
we're
soon
gonna
as
have to
we-
keep an eye on that fuel line
Right.
come the end of the summer, and you might have to, you know,
We'll come up
borrow
with some,
from Peter to pay Paul in
yeah.
our budget,
We'll
so.
come up with some inventive ideas. We have different, we've been kind of checking out other ideas. We're gonna get the motorcycle up and running. We're gonna get one of the officers recertified in that.
Get a side by side, we could tool around there.
Yeah.
Put the
But,
truck guys out.
But if we have to, we'll put mileage restrictions if we have to. That would be our last choice, so of last resort. But if the gas
Yeah.
prices go up to $5 or $6,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You know, we'll,
That's what they're saying by me.
yeah.
I mean, we've been chipping that budget down and down on the gas because, you know, we were down like 179, 189 a gallon.
Just
Right.
never know.
So you don't know, that's the thing, you can't bare bones it, and then something happens with an
Yeah.
emergency, and
Mhm.
you don't have the stuff you need.
Yeah,
But we'll be fine, we'll get through it, and like I said, if we have to, we'll get that up. Once we get the second hybrid in, our plan is to make those the two primary patrol cars that officers would use on mostly every shift. The admin cars would be the gas ones, or the sergeant's
Mhm.
cars, who tend to drive a little bit less.
yeah,
So that's our tentative plan right now. The other thing on the old business was our furnace update.
yes.
The selectmen and the fire chief's been kind of the one spearheading the furnacing. It's over the fire department, and they're the ones that deal with it the most. Got a bunch of bids out, back, and met with the selectmen on Monday, and they approved the bid by AAA Mechanical to replace the furnace. So,
Good.
but of course, that has to be ordered like everything else, and then you gotta wait a couple months to
Probably
get
get it in the fall.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will be, you know, by next winter, we'll be good to go. They're saying it's only gonna be a month to get it, and probably another month before they put it in.
Yeah.
That'd be good, so by summertime, and so I'm hoping.
Your
by next
AC
winter-
works good, it's the
Yeah.
heating part of that unit that was
Right,
out to lunch.
right, so that should be, and that was good, the town took care of that, and they were pretty supportive of the whole thing, it went pretty well, so I think we'll be okay with that. And that's it for old business.
Well, I got something in old business on the body cams. I saw about a month ago that the state was giving out grants to municipalities in New Hampshire
Right.
for body cams and stuff. Were we too early? Were we too ahead of the pack? Or can we apply retroactively?
So yes and no. So, no, we cannot get any money back
Okay,
from that for stuff we bought, but I don't think we were too far ahead of the thing, because we probably paid significantly less than they're gonna charge you now, because now they know people are buying them, they're gonna jack the price up. And the system we got doesn't use the cloud, which is the big cost. The cloud
right.
will be a perpetual cost for the rest of the existing.
Your cloud is right here
Yeah.
and your computer here,
Right.
as opposed to paying a monthly subscription fee and
Right,
all
so we
that.
have.
Microsoft or Amazon.
Yeah,
Right. So even though we got it early and didn't get money paid for the hardware, the cameras, our system was significantly cheaper than the ones that they're putting out now to different police agencies. So we
Yeah.
probably would have paid more, even though we were saving 50%,
yeah,
you know, and then there'd just always be a cost affiliated to the town forever.
yeah.
Plus, we were able to put the system into our own.
I was gonna say, you worried about
Our
that grant
doctrines.
being like
Yeah.
you can't go standalone, they have to, you know, they have to maintain a certain aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no
You gotta follow
guarantee.
their curriculum in a way,
With a
you
grant,
know,
yeah.
and you're tied down, so,
Yeah.
all right, so it was just, I
No,
saw
it's
that.
a good
and I wanted to
question.
bring it up.
We did look into it.
Okay.
Bill Herman had reached out to me about the same thing, and we actually kind of looked into it. And you can't get
Yeah.
retro
Yeah,
reimbursement.
you could going forward, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you
hey,
could.
And there's no guarantee you get the cameras you want. A lot of the cameras are made in communist China. And I prefer not to do business with communist China, so,
Right.
ours are made in Europe, so that was my bugaboo.
And we got different types that most police agencies go with. and
yeah.
like the
You're
guys-
still happy with the
Guys
whole
love
thing with the
it.
body
Yeah, all
cam?
the officers very well received. We've used the cameras already.
Most of
for
them are
evidence, you
activating
know.
it when they get out of the car?
Yeah, we've already used it for prosecution of cases. It's been fantastic. So the guys really,
And of course, it can also be used for positive enforcement. I mean, he looks at some of the tapes and sees how personable and how much of a nice job, and, you know, you go that extra yard with the public, and,
It's a good training
nice.
tool too, because guys review their stuff, and they look at what they've
See
done,
what they've done
and they reconsider
wrong,
some of
right.
their tactics, you know, like, okay, I could have done this a little differently.
correct.
it's been good.
You have body cams in Hudson, I guess, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, we didn't have body cams, we had
Dash.
cams in the dashboard and a microphone on us.
Oh, microphone, yeah, yeah.
So you're always being audio and videotaped.
Back in those days, was it Betamax?
I mean, in the old days, you had the VCR, the DVR in the back trunk.
We did,
In a
yeah.
locked box,
We did.
and then, you
That's
know,
what we had.
yeah, somebody would have to go in there and take the tape.
Yeah,
And
that's
everybody
exactly what
would
we
be
did.
using a magnet on the cassette and
Oh,
cleaning them up and
yeah,
ready for the next month.
all right, that's it for old business. Now, under new business, it's, we had election time, so it's time to elect a new chairperson. So,
I wanna make a motion to elect Dave Dion as chairperson.
okay,
Um,
that's,
Did you explain to them, unfortunately, Joe
Oh,
wasn't
he has
able
his
to
warning?
this warning,
Okay.
so he can't really technically, I'm told by both of them, take
oh,
over.
okay,
So it's just really between the two of you, unless you wanna, if something keeps interested, you wanna table it till next time it's sworn in.
We're a majority being two, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't really know me or know my technique, so I
I
mean,
think it's up to you guys.
I'll second your motion and I'll accept the
Yeah.
chairperson
Sounds
job.
You win.
Okay? Okay, we have one evaluation, I believe.
We do.
Okay.
So based on satisfactory results of a yearly performance review, motion to increase Officer Matt Weber from labor grade 8, step 8 to labor grade 8, step 9. And thank you so much for underlining that 3 times.
Yeah, we have a hard time with that. I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
So I have one other thing on the new business as well.
pardon me?
I have another thing on the new business.
Oh, sure.
So I've been talking with the town administrator, this goes back to when we were doing the union negotiations. That has passed now, the union
Oh,
contract
that's
passed.
right. The vote passed.
So
Yep.
the patrol officers and the sergeants received a pretty good pay package. All guys were all happy, everything worked out pretty good. However, like I said, talking to the town administrator, he suggested that I reach out to a guy who's from the New Hampshire Municipal Association, he's independent now, to maybe look at a job review for the non-union positions here in the department. The last time we did a contract, the patrol officer decided to get a grade increase, they moved up we have grades, like 20 grades and 20 steps. And they got a grade increase, but the non-union people didn't, so they got closer to the, like sergeants would have gotten closer to lieutenant's pay. And then we had another pay increase this year, where again, they got closer still. So the problem is, eventually, you don't have the separation between the positions that are needed, and the other positions aren't compensated fairly compared to other agencies of our size and stature, just like we found out. We had done a study for the union positions, and that was definitely the case in Auburn.
Yeah, we have 5 people that are not in the union, right?
We have 4. Well, 5 counting Darlene, yes.
Oh.
5.
5, yeah, count
You're
her,
correct.
yeah.
So it's not very expensive to do. This guy has been doing it for years, and I'm probably just gonna reach out to this guy, and last time the town actually paid for it out of their administrative fees, but I'll talk to Bill and see what that is. Like I said, it's not a big cost anyway, but I was just kinda keeping you guys in the loop here, because if it did come up with some recommendations, it would go to that tri-board, right? They're the ones that deal with the pay classifications, the payroll.
Yeah.
And then you guys would get it, and you'd know where the stuff came, where this all came from. So that's why I want you guys.
Now, are they doing it on any other positions in the town, or just,
I don't know.
just for you people?
I didn't get that feeling, because,
Okay.
you know, the separation more occurred along the line officer kind of ranks. and-
Because I think with the pay increase was across the board for them, I'm sure,
Right,
yeah.
so I don't know, I'll like I said, I've been, doing very well with communications with the town administrator, I'll reach out to him.
Are they gonna do a study of your job and
Exactly
like
what
they
they
did
have.
10
Yeah.
years ago?
Yeah,
Kinda
it
like,
was, 2014 was the last time we had them looked at.
okay, that when we had a booklet and it told us
Yeah,
that the
yeah, it's the
sergeant
same,
should make this and,
That was 2011, but then they adjusted some of them in 2014.
okay, I was gonna say, cause 2011, that was like the first year.
Yes.
I remember one of my first meetings, they gave me this big thing.
Yeah.
Hey, here it is, all the jobs and what.
But it's the
the
same,
average is.
it's the same guy that did that
Oh,
original study and did.
hey,
the,
that guy does a hell of a
He
job.
does a good job,
So he's doing it on his own instead of through the state.
exactly.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so that was the end of the new business, and that's all I had.
Anything else for anybody? Before I make a motion to adjourn?
We're all set with Matt's, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, got everything done, okay. So let me see, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn at 7:23 PM.
Second?
All in favor? Okay,
That's it.
that was too easy for a first meeting.
Oh, you know,